All right, sports fans, welcome back to the bench. Well, what I want to do today is hopefully a rather quick video. I just got back from the RPM last week, RPM East. Great time. It was great meeting everybody, the folks that I met. Got some really good ideas, some great models in the model room. Anyway, what I got while I was on the way there and at the location at the RPM are some recent cars, and I just want to talk to you about them a little bit because they're pretty darn cool. And again, I apologize. I'm handheld here by myself with my cell phone, so hopefully this comes out okay. So we're going to start off talking about. I got three. I'm an idiot. Three of the new Class One depressed center flat cars. We'll talk about those a little bit. And I got two of the Class One. I think they're the ARI 5200 covered hoppers. And then in the back there, something I saw at the RPM were Otter Valley models. They're called the NSC 6000 CuFt Gondolas. To me, they're the scrap one. I see these cars here in the back. Oh, sorry about that. Nearly there. I think there's one train a day east and west on the CSX that is loaded with these cars. One goes loaded, and they look like trash, scrap, construction waste and whatnot. And then one comes the other way, empty, I believe. I have seen very similar cars on the NS. So the four cars there in the back they're obviously more modern cars. And they're what I'm planning to run during an op session with modern power. Steve comes over and, since Steve's a conductor for the NS, I am kind of slowly drifting, getting a few more modern things to run. It's just freaking cool. You run a set in of, a 3-unit set of the new GEs growling into Eugene Yard. It's just cool. So, of course, you need to have some modern rolling stock to go with it. And it's one thing. It's kind of cool. You can have some, 40-foot boxcars behind it, but it looks kind of hokey. So anyway, just real quick, I don't know a lot about those new modern cars, but they're very, very well done. So I just wanted to show you. Now I know a little bit more about the depressed cars because they haul transformers, and that's kind of my shtick. So let me clear things up, and then we're going to talk about the three depressed cars first, and then briefly we'll mention the other ones just because I got them and they're freaking cool. So all right, let me recombobulate myself here, and we will continue on. All right, so here are the Class One depressed center cars that I got. I got a New York Central, Reading, and a Lehigh Valley. These cars, I think they're very accurate. They're different trucks on them, and they seem to be, accurate for what they intended for the prototype. Nice cars. Highly recommend them if you're looking for something like this. Now you can see the top car that I got. It's a New York Central. It's number 499093. That is a lot 836-F, from what I can tell. That's the car here in the front. I kind of weathered them up a little bit. I went through the decks and got them, hopefully, trying to look a little bit like steel. Rusted out. These aren't really, really old cars. Most of these cars were early, mid 50s, so they're not super old. Even if I move a little bit into the, early, mid 60s, they're not super old cars. The car below that is the Reading 99050. That is their class FWE. Only one car in that class. They did have another class of cars that was the FWD, where they had 5 cars. Those cars apparently are pre-order right now from 3D Concepts to get that. It's a little bit different. These 3 cars are all 125-ton cars, and the other Reading car, the FWD, is a 137.5-ton car. So it's a little bit heavier. The bottom is a Lehigh Valley 9960. There was 2 of these cars, 9960 and 9961. And from what I can tell, it's pretty accurate. The only thing that I noticed in the very, very few photographs I could find of it, there are some ribs, and I'll try to post a photograph so you can see this, that go along underneath the deck that look slightly different than the actual Class 1 version of the car. What's right, what was the timing of that, I'm not 100% sure. I don't claim to be a car expert by any means. The Reading car is over here in the back, and again, it's pretty nice. I assume the deck is correct. It's a little bit different deck. It doesn't have wood on the end of the deck, so I assume that is correct. And then the New York Central car does have the wood. And the main difference that I could see between the New York Central Lot 836F, which this car is, pertains to, can I grab a pointer somewhere? Let me try this. Bear with me, folks, as we're having technical, no, okay. Right here. These look to be absolutely correct for the 836F cars. There's two other versions very, very similar to this, different lot numbers. They're lot 711-F and lot 777-F. The difference being these. On those other lots, these appear to be bigger. But this does look correct for this particular car. So if you want a nice New York Central version, it's good. And it's also got the correct type of, get some light on that. The correct type of trucks on it. Actually, all the cars seem to have the correct type of trucks on it. So, kudos to Class 1 for doing that. These are, you can buy these. I'm going to say you can pretty much buy these, not worry if they're prototypical. I know that's an issue that comes up a lot with things. Some guys need, or some manufacturers tend to do foobies here and there, just paint stuff because they got the cars done. But these look to be pretty darn accurate. Different trucks, different cars, different bodies. Again, the Reading has a different, car body on the top. The other two, seem to have the right trucks or different trucks on them. And it seems to have the correct type of, I'll call these car end supports. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but it does look right for those lots. So these are, again, very nice cars. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know a lot about the other versions of the cars because I'm a kind of an Eastern type dude. I, got these cars. It does not mean, at least even in Sharon, Pennsylvania, that other railroads, their cars did not come in there. It's just, I know I got photographs of these cars. Well, at least the New York Central, and very, very similar to the Reading. It's actually the other class of Reading car. But, who's to say these didn't show up? And who's to say a Lehigh Valley didn't show up? It's going to in my factory. So, very nice cars. I highly recommend you check them out. And if you're so inclined, if you didn't pre-order them, go out and grab some. They're definitely worth the investment. I did not try, just a note, I haven't run these yet, but if everyone remembers, the first version of these cars, how they were bowed and how I had to straighten out I have a video on it, how you had to straighten out the the car itself so it wasn't so bowed. I don't notice that on any of these. So hopefully Class 1 got it right and people aren't getting bowed cars out there. These seem to be very, very nice cars. So, all right, with that, let's move on to the ARI 5200 covered hoppers. Okay, so the Class 1 ARI 5200 3-bay covered hoppers. These are just, again, I got these because they're modern, and I want to, run them on a more modern NS train when Steve comes over and whatnot. These are, man, again, these are nice. I'm not an expert on these at all, but you can see the two I bought. I initially bought the bottom one as a pre-order, which is the COER 355103, which is this one, which is what I repainted because I figured, that was a previous KCS car, got repainted, and they did a nice job on it. I did weather these a little bit, not terribly, because I just don't think they should be terribly weathered. This one pretty much came out of the box like this. I did do a little bit of fading, and I did kind of paint the trucks and whatnot to make it look. It looks. I did not do any research on the ARI 5200 covered hoppers, but I assume they're pretty darn accurate. The KCS car, I've always liked that scheme on the KCS cars, and I have seen that particular scheme on the NS. So I figured, yeah, good enough for me. I've seen it in real life. Let's do it. It's a cool looking car. I really like it, so I picked it up. It wasn't this exact number that I saw, obviously, but I believe it was in the same series. But anyway, for me, it's close enough. I know this car did run on the Norfolk Southern about 2 weeks ago. I happened to be watching the Lakeshore Cam when I was at work. Shh, don't tell anybody. And along came an NS train. It was going eastbound, and one of these cars was in it. So I was like, cool. So then, like I said, I didn't buy that pre-order. I did contact Class One, tried to add it to my pre-order when this shipped, and because this came with the depressed cars. Tried to add it. They were too slow to get back to me. When they finally got back to me, that car was sold out. So, okay, fine. Well, on the way down to the RPM, we happened to stop at a hobby shop. And what does Rob see there but this car? So what does Rob do? He buys this damn car. Because I figured, he had a couple of them there. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I know the price is high. It's not the pre-order price, but it's not terrible. And I'm right here. So I got it. So now I have these two cars to run. Again, how beautifully accurate are they? I don't know. They are beautiful, I'll say. I'm sure there's other videos out there that you can look on where people are pointing at them and, oh, look at this. It's got ladders and it's got trucks and it's got rotating bearing. Go look at those videos if you want some more in-depth stuff. But I'm just going to show you these. I got them. To me, they look very, very nice. Weathered them up, and now they're pretty much ready for the layout. So, all right. Let's go on to the Otter Valley trash gondolas. That was a surprise to me that I saw and I picked them up. So let's talk about those real quick. Okay, last two cars. These are the Otter Valley NSC 6000 CuFt Gondolas, as you can see right now. And I picked up both of these at the RPM in the vendor room. These are from White Rose Hobbies. Ryan's the young man that I met there. Great guy. Really cool. We shared a couple beers in the evening. Anyway, it was really kind of cool to talk to people, on that side of the business. It was great. So I got these two cars because I know, again, modern-wise, I can guarantee you, I've seen a ton of these come by on the CSX. And I think I've seen a couple of them, maybe not that exact scheme, but close enough, running on the NS. Not in solid trains like they seem to do on the CSX. Like I said, one loaded seems to go west, and then another one, I assume empty, is coming back east. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I know I've seen these cars. And this one is an XRMX car. Again, both of these I kind of weathered up, and I played around with the inside and kind of toned them down a little bit and weathered them stuff. Nice. Very nice cars. Again, I don't know. I didn't do a comparison or a super, super detailed comparison to the prototype, but man, they look good to me. Compared to what I've seen going by on the CSX train. So they look very, very good. And again, these are, let me pardon my reach, and hopefully I don't, you can go to this website. That's where they are, ovrtrains.com. Good site. They are Canadian. However, and I'm not going to be political at all. That's not the point of this channel one bit, but they do state on their webpage that if the order is less than $800, there's no tariff. So, in fact, I went like a dumbass. I went out and bought two more. Like I said, White Rose does have them. Not nearly as many as on OVR trains. They've got a lot of them. And I actually picked up two more. And they have different road names as well. Not just the Cardella and the XRMX. There's other ones. There's CDRX, something like that. There's IMMX, or there's all kinds of neat cars there. There's the Oak Ridge cars there that look pretty good. And again, most of those I know I've seen on CSX, so they're good. But they have on their website, they had the car with a load. Oops, sorry about that. With the load with that orange netting on top of it. At least it looked pretty cool on the website. I didn't see it in person because they didn't have them at the RPM, at least that I saw. So I got 2 more cars, both with loads, and then they got 2 additional loads to go on these 2 cars. I figure there'll be a, construction, it's construction, say that 8 times fast. They're construction debris loads. So again, I bought 2, 1 for each of these. I bought 2 other cars with the loads. So I have 4 cars that I can put in a modern train, running with either empty or running with construction debris. So that's it. Those are the ones I bought. Just wanted to pass that on, and they are nice. These are really nice cars. But again, if you want to go on to YouTube, I'm sure there's other videos out here where people point out every little freaking, it's got a brake wheel, it's got trucks, all that kind of shenanigans that you can find out there. I'm just going to tell you, I got these. To me, they look good. Modern cars. So if you want something for a trash train, they aren't a cheap date if you're going to do a whole train. Like on a CSX, that train that runs by is rather large. And they're about, I'm going to say roughly $50 a pop. So it's again, you're going to pay for the niceness of them, but they're very, very nice. And to get a 100-car train. Well, some of you monorators might have 100-car trains, but if you're going to get a 20-car train or something like that, that's going to be not a cheap date. But anyway, that's them. So that's it. And I think the one thing I may want to do, if anyone's interested, I'm going to go ahead and do a voiceover on the presentation that I had at the RPM that talked about transformers and transformer loads and those. There they are. There's the, like I said, those 3 Class 1 depressed cars. So it's a lot more information, got into a lot more detail, and why not share it with people? It doesn't do me any good to keep all this information just to myself on my hard drive. I'd rather have people out there see it. Maybe they can use it. Maybe they don't care, and that's cool. But if I do a voiceover, you all can see it. If you saw the presentation at RPM, thank you very much for being in there. I appreciate it. But I want to share it with everyone, so, or at least the other folks on this channel. So folks have an opportunity to see it and listen to me babble on about crap. So, okay, that's it. Let me get this posted up, and thanks for watching. And if you decide to get some of these cars, I really don't think you'll go wrong on any of them. Great stuff.